Welcome, gentlemen. Jack, I'll start with you. A smaller leadership group this year. Is there any particular reason for this?
No, obviously Andrew Swallow departing last year leaves us with a four-man leadership group, and throughout last year and the last couple of years we've been working with a lot of younger guys to try and develop their leadership qualities, and we've got identified a group of young players underneath who potential leadership potential, and we're looking to develop them a little bit more, and along with a lot of other guys as well. So there's some guys in learning roles, and that's going to help us in 2018.
What about, speaking of leadership, what about yourself? Been probably an interesting start already this year. What are your learnings from last year that you think you're better prepared at the moment as the captain of the club than perhaps say this time last year?
I think myself personally definitely better prepared this year than last year. I was probably jumping into the deep end a little bit as a first year captain. I did have some good support around me with Andrew Swallow, who was obviously a captain for a number of years previously, but I think us as a team as well are much better prepared for 2018 than probably last year. I think with the younger guys, we had 10 last year play their first game debut for our football club. They've all had 12 months of being in the AFL system, and adding some more youth to our side this year through the draft and through the trade period is really exciting for our footy club. And we learnt some valuable lessons last year, and especially early on in the year. And I think we started 0-5, which wasn't very pleasing from anyone in the room's perspective, but that did teach us a few lessons that were hard to learn. But I think what that did show was the group's resolve going into the season, and it could have been quite easy for our group to drop the bundle at 0-5 and sort of blundered our way through the year and just sort of let it go. But I think everyone would agree that the team showed great fight, and that's probably the basis of where we are as a group. And showing good fight in every game and every contest is what we're all about.
We know your style. You as the captain. What are you wanting to see from the players this year in 2018?
I think the never-beaten attitude of a shin boner. I think that's something that everyone in the room can relate to, and you see some champions of our game, Glenn Archer and Wayne Schimmelbusch, I think, is in the room tonight, and Anthony Stevens, guys like that who have played many years for our football club. I think if our players can take their attitudes of being never beaten in any contest or any game into each game we play, then we're going to be a very hard football team to beat, and I think that's our plan this year.
And can I just add, like the excitement of having so many young people around, I think Ben just mentioned we've gone from sort of almost the oldest list to almost one of the youngest lists, and that must be exciting in itself too.
It is. It's very exciting, and the energy of the group is at an all-time high, which is fantastic. And for us older guys, we all are a little bit old now. Jamie, 26, you look old with a beard. But us older guys and the other guys in the room who are a bit older are really jumping on the back of that excitement levels and energy levels, and that really shows at training as well. So we're looking to carry that into games starting next weekend, and it's going to be an exciting year for everyone involved at North Melbourne Football Club. Thank you, Jack.
I might ask you to pass over to Robbie. So, Robbie, let me tell you, it's interesting. Ben said before, start the season in Cairns. Okay, now, you can't look beyond the start of the season, you guys, and that's obviously what the focus is now. Round 1 against the Gold Coast, really a big focus for you guys. The next 10, it's only Saturday week, so it's 10 days away.
Yeah, it's coming up quickly, actually. So, we're really excited about it. There is a massive emphasis on round 1. You take a bit of perspective. Doesn't make or break your season in any way, but we're really confident that we can get off to a really good start, up in Cairns, and hopefully see some younger faces that we might not know a lot of, or you guys might not know a lot of. Potentially get their debut or continue to develop their career from the lead into round 1. But it's an exciting time of the year, and that leads into a pretty important and special day for our club in the Good Friday in round 2. So. We've got a big, month ahead, really.
I'm going to ask you about Good Friday. For majority of people here, it's fair to say that'll be like the first game they go to. There's no doubt about that. Not a lot will be going to Cairns from this group. I'm sure there's some. There'll be a few. But round 2, Good Friday. It's such a special day for Victoria. Is it such a privilege to be part of that?
Yeah, it really is, actually. It's our first one last year, and obviously with the Children's Hospital appeal and the generosity from all of Australia, really. So to play a small part in that and to raise some money for some pretty sick kids is, really special, and it's something that all of us players really take pride in.
Good. I'm sure there'll be plenty of these people. We'll all be there for Good Friday because it is such a special day. Good luck. Thank you. Please thank Robbie. Thanks, Robbie. Sean, Sid Barker medal last year. So, well, yes, indeed. Congratulations. Playing through the midfield. Can we expect the same again this year from you in 2018 in the midfield?
Yeah, well, I hope that I get to run through there a little bit throughout the game. I'll play wherever needed, but I'm sure that'll involve a little bit of midfield time, potentially a bit more time up forward as well. We'd love some younger guys to get some time through the midfield as well, and that half-forward midfield role. So I hope, hopefully by sort of the midpoint way of the year and towards the latter part of the year, that we've got 6 or 8 guys that could potentially go through there. And looking forward to getting to play with those younger guys a little bit more, along with Jack and Cunners as well through the middle of the ground. Benny Jacobs will be back playing an important role for us. So I'm sure it'll be much of the same as last year for me.
Aside from saying the right thing because the coach is just out behind here, where would you really like to play, midfield or forward?
No, look, I'm honestly not fussed at all. I think I enjoy both parts of it. I really enjoyed last year going more into a midfield role, which I probably haven't done for the 12 years of my career. So I'm sure, like I said, that'll be a big part of it, and potentially a little bit more time up forward as well.
What are your expectations this season, Sean?
Oh, well, you won't catch me saying where I predict anywhere on the ladder or what that looks like, but I think, like you said, with the most 25 and under guys in the competition, I think the second, if not the youngest, list in the competition. It's just exciting. Jack touched on it before. We touched on it with the role through the midfield, but if we see just natural progression, and hopefully us older guys can fast track that throughout the year, and that we're playing that never beaten brand of football, and the brand of football that kept us in most games last year, I think that's a really good gauge for us. And look, on the back of that, we prepare every week to win, and as older guys, that's exactly what we want to be doing.
Yep.
But with the younger guys, that could take time, and it could not as well. We could jump out of the blocks, which we hope to do. But I think just that never beaten footy throughout the year, and hopefully you'll see the way that we want to turn up and play every week, and that's the expectations that we should be going into this season with.
And correct. And that's probably, I just reflected then by, that's the excitement, what it's all about, I think, which is fantastic. Jamie, I'm going to throw to you about, now you were 2017, last year you were crippled a bit by injury. In fact, you almost lost a finger. So you must be pretty keen to get out there this year. Can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of mayo on that.
Well, it's good to build it up a bit.
Yeah, I had a finger injury, which I did have to get tidied up. And
you're out for enough. We thought it
must
must have lost
for the year. So yeah, you are correct in that. I missed the last sort of 8 or 9 games throughout the year, and look, it was obviously disappointing. But I think there are a couple of guys in the same boat as me last year. Particularly, Marley was one of them that missed the last half of the year or chunks of the year. But I think the positive thing is this year, and I'm feeling really good. But so's the list, and I think currently our availability is really good, or the guys in rehabs, not very many. Might only be 2 or 3, and a couple of those are just around the corner. I know Sam Wright, he's hoping to play in the next couple of weeks, and he's going to be a huge inclusion for us. We've obviously really missed him when he's been out. So, injuries probably haven't been our friend over the last year or so, but full credit to our medical and conditioning staff that they've got the list in great shape, and we're seeing some of these young boys really develop into bodies capable of playing AFL, and now they're hopefully they can take that next step.
So with some of those young guys down back, you got a couple of seasoned guys with you. Who are perhaps a new player or a new player of the club, or who you think is going to really step up in the defensive half?
Yeah, we've had a couple of guys, particularly against Richmond. We had Ryan Clark and Mitch Hibbert, who are now in their 3rd years. They've played a little bit or chunks down there. And then the second half, we saw young Tom Murphy come out and he played quite well. And he's got some great attributes. He's a great kick of the footy, which we're really probably lacking a little bit down back. Someone who can really penetrate the game, and he certainly has that in spades. So looking forward to hopefully giving him an opportunity at some stage this year. And whenever that comes, I've got no doubt he'll be ready. And as for the other boys, it's, as I said, Ryan Clark played there in the back half of last year a little bit, and he can certainly find the footy, and he's making the right strides forward, I suppose, in his defensive game. And Mitch Hibbert, it's, again, relatively new to him a little bit, so we'll see how he goes. But they're guys that when you run out on the field, they do bring something different. They're really exciting.